Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Stand in line for your fix. DeMarcus and Marcus in the mix, serving you yet another round of fish and grits. April 23rd, 2017. The draft is a couple days away, man. Ain't you excited for football season? Like just knowing that it's getting closer and closer.
Yeah, it feels good just to know that, the the NBA season is wrapping up. NFL about to start taking off. Fantasy about to take off. So, the work schedule kind of gets a little easier when the NFL schedule seems to pop off. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Have you been able to check out like the first week of the NFL schedule yet, just to see who's gonna be opening up the week?
I skimmed over it, but I didn't get to look at it too much. I was too busy looking at. I wanted to see who the Texans were playing. Wanted to see who the Cowboys were playing, and I also was looking at the schedule for the Detroit Lions because I have a lot of cousins up there. And if you truth be told, I know nobody really wants to talk about this. Detroit really has a bad schedule. Like I can easily see them going 7-9 or even like 6-10 or something like that. They have a really tough schedule.
I mean, that's easy to see. I believe they had 7 games where they trailed on the last possession. They end up winning. So
that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
You're gonna regress to the mean sooner. Like you're not gonna continue to come back on these NFL teams, especially when as other teams learn how to close out football games. So yeah, I can definitely agree with something like that, man. But it's gonna be a couple of interesting matchups for Week 1. I'm not really looking forward to New England and Kansas City. I don't know about you, but I think one of the best matchups I see Week 1 definitely is going to be Green Bay versus Seattle.
Hold on, whoa! You don't want to see the Patriots in Kansas City Week 1?
It's not Alex Smith versus Tom Brady. It just doesn't. It just don't seem right, because how many times can we expect to see a Alex Smith shootout game?
Well, it's not okay. The reason why
it's going to be a great defensive game.
Okay, the only reason why I want to see that game is because this is going to be life without Jamal Charles. So I want to see what Kansas City looks like without Jamal Charles. You didn't think about that one. Don't forget.
He gonna be out that last year. We
did, but we did see that last year. But the thing about that last year, that's when
they got a first round bye without Jamal Charles.
Yeah, then Spencer Ware was tired when we really started, because there was a lot of the first 6-7 games of the week, Spencer Ware was looking really nice, but then he started getting tired because, he thought Jamal Charles was coming back. So you can see it starting to wear him down. So I want to see what a fresh Spencer Ware is going to be like. And then we also saw when Jamal Charles went down, Alex Smith really starting to use his offensive weapons, and the Tyreek Hills, the Jeremy Maclin was getting more involved. Then you had, what's his name, their tight end, Travis Kelce was getting more involved. So I really want to see what they're going to look like against the Tom Brady, the new Patriots team, honestly, with Cooks and Gilmore, all the weapons that they got in all season.
It just doesn't interest me, man.
Dang it! It doesn't. Heartless, brother.
I'm not heartless. I'm not heartless, and I don't want to seem that way. But Alex Smith as a quarterback, I feel like I'm sold. I'm sold. I still feel like he had potential these past couple of years because I've seen his success. But I feel like, honestly, you can put a cap on Alex Smith as far as he'll get you to the playoffs. You may or may not win a game, but you're not bringing home the Lombardi Trophy with Alex Smith leading that offense. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to pass for those 350 yards that you may need in a shootout. He may give you 200 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, but sometimes you need to elevate that level of play a little bit more, and I just don't see it happening with Alex Smith, especially in an offense like this, because it seems like a dink and dunk offense. They don't really have those explosive plays unless you talk about Tyreek Hill, but he can create on his own.
Yeah, and then I don't know if it's Andy Reid has kind of slowed this offense down because of the skill sets of Alex Smith, but when I watch Alex Smith sometimes when they're down or they have a running back that's really not getting no ground and pound yards, I like to see the calm, poised Alex Smith, and he can really go for those 300-yard plus gains, but I don't feel like the offense, asked for him or that. So that's why we don't see the Kansas City team being that interesting to watch. But I feel like this year with, Spencer Ware and what's his name? It's in the backfield, Charcandrick West. I feel like they're going to lean on Alex Smith a little bit more than they usually are, because no Jamal Charles, like we said, that was the whole team right there, and he's out the door.
And this is probably the main reason why I usually don't like talking about the schedule pre-draft, because you got to know that the Chiefs are going to answer the questions that we have at the running back position.
That's true. That's
true.
Some
young cat is going to be on that team toting that tater for a team that was number 1 or number 2 in the AFC. somebody's going to be given a prime position to replace Jamal Charles and put this team back on track, at least with the running game.
Well, I guess we can talk about Green Bay and Seattle then, since we didn't want to talk about that.
No. Like I said, I don't want to discredit anything, but honestly, Thursday, we're going to be off. Football season going to be kicked off, but do we really want to see Tom Brady versus Alex Smith? Like, honestly, man.
We don't want to see that, but I'm going to see it. The only reason why okay, so the average fan is not going to want to see that game. But the football, I guess I'm
going to watch it. I
want to watch it just to analyze and look at the game. And then I also want to look for fantasy purposes because I want to see what Brandon Cooks is going to do with that offense. And I also want to see if Travis Kelce is going to continue to play like how he was at the tail end of last year.
I'm just going to throw out 3 quick games that I feel like is going to be the highest scoring games. It's going to be fantasy points everywhere. I'm definitely going to have to go with Oakland, Tennessee. I'm going to have to go with Arizona, Detroit. And I'm thinking the sleeper game is going to be crazy points, Tampa Bay at Miami.
That Tampa Bay and Miami game, I want to see that. Honestly, I just want to see what Tampa Bay is going to do with this season, if you want to be honest with me, because they have the Hard Knocks coming in. Is the Hard Knocks curse going, plague them? It didn't plague the Texans, but the Tampa Bay. I really want to see what
or did it.
If you want to be honest with you, because like JJ Watt did end up getting hurt, so
it came a season later.
Yeah, so it could be that, man. I mean, it could be the Hard Knocks curse, but I really want to see.
All you can say is it started in the playoff game and just went worse from there. Because honestly, man, if Brian Hoyer don't just turn the ball over like 2 less times, he's the backup quarterback. Tom Savage is probably the starter, and we really don't have to fuck with anything that's going on as far as the quarterback situation right now.
That's true. I really want to see Tampa Bay because I want to see what that offense looks like. I want to see what Jameis Winston. I want to see how a third-year quarterback acts with his team. And you have Deshaun Jackson coming in. You still have that whole situation at the running back position. Are they going to start with Jaquiz? Are they going to draft the running back? What's going on with Doug Martin? I still want to see. I got to see my boy Mike Evans, man. I feel like he's one of the most underrated wide receivers in this league. Yeah, he is a 50-50 ball jumping wide receiver, but I feel like he brings a lot to the table that I really want to see the world really pay attention to him because he has a troubled backstory about his life if you haven't checked out any of his documentaries. But I really want to see what he's going to do, and I really want to see if the Bucs have the type of offense that I think that they have that's going to go and win their division, because I predict them this season to win their division, and I really predict them to go to the Super Bowl. And I know it's a bold call, but that's the one I want to call.
Hey, that's big time right there, man. Let's talk about a matchup of 2 quarterbacks that actually got hurt at the end of the season. Mariota versus Derek Carr, man. Who you think will be able to be as close to 100% as possible in this matchup? And who you think will be able to take this matchup?
Probably Derek Carr, because they both got injured around the same time. But I feel like Derek Carr has more weapons around him, his offensive line is better. He's gonna have the running game, Marshawn coming back. So that's gonna be a lot of hype behind that. But then again, it's like Tennessee and Oakland, in my opinion, it's kind of the same team. If you want to be honest, if you want to really analyze their team, they both have good offensive lines. They both have good running backs. They both have young, mobile quarterbacks that can make accurate throws, and they have a good wide receiving core. Tennessee's is getting better now, but Oakland does have the edge on that. And the defense, Tennessee's defense can be better, but with the injuries that went on last year, I see them being better this year. But I really want to see how Derek Carr and a new Oakland offense look, and I want to see how the Raiders fan embrace that team, knowing that they're going to be leaving them in another 2 years.
Definitely, man. Before we move on to the NBA, I just want to put a request out for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Please do not draft Deshaun Watson, because I don't want to have to deal with him, Andrew Luck, and Marcus Mariota for the next.
Do you think they're going to draft him? Because from what I heard they want to go running back. They heard they was looking at Leonard Fournette.
They had a scheduled interview that was so low key that nobody probably would even knew.
The Texans had one too.
I know that, but this is a team that already has somewhat of a franchise quarterback. I know he's not the answer, but if you can bring in a Deshaun Watson into that type of system with a rebuilding defense and more picks along the road, that's scary, dude.
Yeah, hopefully drop off Blake Bortles and we'll pick him up. I'll take Blake Bortles. I think with the right coaching, I feel like Blake Bortles could actually be a legit quarterback in today's league. He has the arm, he has the strength, he has the football IQ, but I feel like coaching has limited limited him in that aspect. And I feel like with the right pieces that they have around in there, and then you have what's his name from the Giants coming as the Tom Coughlin coming into the organization. I feel like he can really, if Tom Coughlin can stabilize Eli Manning. Yes, Tom Coughlin is not coaching, but I feel like he's going to have some type of say-so in that offense. And if he can temper Blake Bortles and not make those boneheaded down the field throws, or those, instead of always want to look for the big play, do the check down, is going to be all right. I feel like they can be all right. But if they get Deshaun Watson, man, the Texans quarterback issues are going to be the least of the worries. Because, man, you got three young quarterbacks. You have three young, good quarterbacks.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that name don't get announced on Thursday when we're watching the draft, man. But honestly, when I look at this schedule, I'm just excited for football, man. Like I say, I think it's gonna be a lot of good football being played throughout this entire day, and I'm just ready to get everything kicked off. Definitely for the NFL, but we will be touching base with everybody when the draft do kick off, and we may be recording during the draft. We don't know yet. We're gonna make a decision on that, but. As far as Blake, man, I like Blake, but what I can't accept from a quarterback is someone. I don't know how long he's been playing quarterback as far as Little League, but he did at least 3 years in college, and this is going to be his 4th year in the NFL. But anytime you admit publicly that you don't feel like you're a natural thrower of the football, it's kind of hard for me to rally behind you.
Yeah, his throwing motions are off. If you see, he has a weird throwing motion.
But we all see that. He admitted it. You know, it's one thing for us to see it. It's one thing for us to see, let's say, a James Harden making. I know it's a bad example, but it's one thing to see James Harden making bad passes. But for James to come out and say, "Oh, I'm not a natural passer," then what the hell are you doing passing the ball? And for him, to be a quarterback and to come out 3 years into your NFL career, not college, not high school, but a professional football player that got drafted in the top 3 of the NFL draft, for you to let the words out your mouth say, I'm not a natural thrower of the football.
See, I think you can look at the surface level and you can be like, man, why would you say that you can't do what you're hired to do? Or you can look at it as
trained,
or you can look at it and comment a little bit deeper and think that when he says that, maybe he's saying that I don't have the right throwing motion, or maybe the style of throwing that I've always been accustomed to using needs some tuning up. It's just like with James, like you brought the James Harden reference. Remember, people used to always say, "Oh man, James Harden makes stupid passes." So if you make dumb passes and you finally realize I make bad passes, and someone tailors the offense to you and you kind of work on that, look at James Harden, he makes better passes. Same for Blake Bortles. If he's admitting that, okay, that's something that Eli needs to be making, coming out saying like, hey, I'm really not a natural passer, because we all see that you don't throw the ball that well. And I think Blake Bortles has admitted that problem, that he has a bad throwing motion. I feel like this is going to be the make or break year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't even think they exercised his 5th-year option.
Yeah, he's going to show at the tail end of last year. He did play some pretty good football. He was not careless with the ball.
After the coach that they gave up on got fired, of course.
That's right. Well, man, you can't rally behind that coach. I couldn't rally behind him,
dude. The one play that just stuck out when Thursday Night Football, when they fumbled the ball, and I seen 11 Jaguars looking at it. Like, oh shit, we about to turn it over. Nobody jumped on it. Nobody did nothing. They just fumbled the ball and let Tennessee recover it. I said they don't want to play for this coach.
Gus Bradley. I didn't like Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley didn't motivate them boys. Gus Bradley always been just a ho-hum type of coach. He makes bad calls. And okay, so if you really want to, this is how bad Gus Bradley is a coach, that he let what's his name? I cannot think of his name. It's one of their smallest running backs. I cannot remember his name. If it's going to come up.
Oh, Denard Robinson.
Yeah, Denard Robinson go 3 times from the goal line, and you have TJ Yeldon that's been balling, and then you had Gerhardt, Toby Gerhardt. Now you don't think you could have rolled with neither one of those, and you felt the need that you should run with Shoestring Robinson on the goal line. So I was just like, when I saw that, and they were in London that game, I said, okay, you know what? I'm done with Gus Bradley. He has shown me nothing year after year. that he doesn't know how to make the right call. And so I'm thinking that this is the type of year for Jacksonville, because Jacksonville last year, the offense struggled. The defense was actually pretty good. Now, this year, I want to see if that defense can step it up even more, but I want to see if the offense can get it together with the new coach, new environment, new personnel. I think this is the year where you can kind of make a judgment and you can say, okay, either, they need to go with somebody else or, they're stirring in the right direction. So I'm going to be looking for Jacksonville.
No, that's very true. This is definitely the make or break year for Blake Bortles, but at the same time, I'd rather have my quarterback have a little bit more confidence, because I don't want you saying those type of words after throwing 30 touchdowns in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I want you to back that up like, shit, I'm about to go out here. I'm about to score 35. I don't want you to throw 30 touchdowns and say, shit, I don't even think I can throw this shit that good. What the hell? I don't want that.
What teams are you looking for this year? Because I'm looking for the Bucks and the Jaguars. Those and the Giants. Those are my three teams I'm really looking for this year.
Bucks, Jaguars, and Giants for you. My man, on my end, I'm hoping for the resurgence of the Baltimore Ravens, because I honestly feel like football is just better when the AFC North is competitive. And the only way the AFC North is going to be competitive this year as far as the Steelers is concerned is if Baltimore is playing well, because I think they're going to run through Cleveland and they're going to run through Cincinnati.
But who are they throwing to?
What do you mean?
On the offensive side of the ball, I mean, Steve Smith gone, and then what's his name is gone. They checked down receiver. Man, I can't think of his name. They filled in
they brought in Woodhead. They're gonna have Dixon coming back, and they still got Perriman. They still got
Perriman. See, that's the thing about Perriman. He has big game potential, but I mean, he's like Deshaun Jackson to me. He makes those big plays, but then he can literally go one catch for 18 yards on a 3-game span. And you know what I'm talking about? He disappears from the offense too easy for me.
But another reason, a side note to why I'm rooting for Baltimore, because if Pittsburgh just run through that division, that means Pittsburgh can easily go like 14-2, 13-3, and have a bye week. So I'm hoping that Baltimore can bounce back, just be competitive and hand the Steelers a loss or two. I'm also going to be on the lookout for the boys in Philadelphia.
Hey, that's my squad. You give them a shout out.
I'm going to be looking out for the boys in Philadelphia. I think, honestly, man, they are a couple linemen in the second and third rounds away from being competitive, and also getting an elite running back in the first round. I don't think you have to necessarily shoot for one, but if a Fournette drops, if McCaffrey drops,
hey, what about old boy that had that case with the hitting his girlfriend?
Mixon.
Yeah, what if they sneak and get him?
Hey, anybody other than Ryan Matthews as the lead tailback, I think, will be prime position for him. So then, outside of those two teams, just to throw one more out there, I'm looking for the emergence of a third team is tough. But if I had to just throw one out there, I'm going to say Seattle bounce back. I want to see Tyler Lockett come back and be consistent if he can bounce back from his injury, if he can return. I also want to see Jimmy Graham and Russell Westbrook find a true connection, because honestly, I think that could be one of those sleeper positions as far as fantasy is concerned. Russell Westbrook to Jimmy Graham can win a lot of games down the stretch, especially if we can get a Russell Wilson that's mobile. Because last year, the first half of the season, he couldn't move. He was in that cast. He just couldn't move around. So I think if Russell can get his fantasy production from the rushing side point a little bit up there, it'll also help with them getting to the end zone a little bit more. They don't really have a legit running back. If you ask me, I don't know how you feel about Thomas Rawls, but I think Russell Wilson, Jimmy Graham, Baldwin, I think they're going to have to become a three-headed monster in this offense, and I think they can actually do it in that division, because I think the Cardinals are going to fall off a little bit.
And Proysice, you got to give him some love, because him coming back from that injury, he's really going to be a nice cog in their offense. See what he's going to do, and then your boy Eddie Lacy, we want to see what he's going to do in that offense. But I like the teams that you are looking at. The Ravens, they're just
I'm telling you, man. I don't know if it's just a me thing or like a psychological thing, but honestly, when the Ravens are a good football team, the NFL is better.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I don't.
It's one of it's like how did you feel when what's the team I can throw out there? Like when Pittsburgh didn't make the playoffs for a couple years. It's like, damn, this just don't feel right.
Yeah,
Like
that's how I felt with the Ravens, and it's not no fault on Flacco because honestly, Flacco's been playing pretty good. He played less enthusiastic. I mean, I was less enthused with his play in the second part of the season, but losing Kamar Aiken is another big loss for them because he was a possession receiver. But when Steve Smith 2 years ago went out the offense and he quietly had 75 catches and he had like almost 1,000 yards. I know the touchdowns weren't there, but he really had a good year. And them not picking him up, I think it's gonna be you know what? Let's add this plug. This is my fantasy tip. Look for Kamar Aiken this year to have a decent season that can give you some good fantasy points if you are out there in the fantasy land because he's going to the Colts. He's going to fill in that third receiver role, but I think that he has a talent to outshine what's their name?
Dorsett?
Not Dorsett, the other light skin. Moncrief. I think he can outshine Moncrief because with Moncrief, he became touchdown dependent. But the thing about Kamar Aiken,
he would have like 27 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, Kamar Aiken, I feel like he has he has good reliable hands and he plays that slot position that Andrew Luck's like to throw to. And with them losing the tight end, man, my mind is really gone today. I got basketball in my mind, so it's hard to losing Dwayne Allen. I feel like they're gonna look to their wide receivers a lot more wide. So I want everybody look for Kamar Aiken. I think he's gonna have a good season this year. So everybody should take a look at him.
Yeah, definitely. Before we move on to basketball, I just want to get your opinion on this. But to me, when I look at the overall, I'm gonna say the map of football, you can't have it without the AFC North in the SEC in college football. I honestly feel like growing up, that's what made me fall in love with it. I remember when Jamal Lewis was on the brink of breaking the rushing record against the Steelers. It was a Sunday night football game, black. Steelers wasn't even in playoff contention, but they did not let him break that goddamn record. And at that moment, I say, you know what? This is a real football team, and this division is competitive. And then when you throw in the Bengals and what they've been doing and what the Browns are trying to do, they're in the right direction. I honestly feel like the NFL wouldn't be the same without the AFC North.
That's true because those are your grounded, those are your grit and grind players. Like you always know when they battle, like
they're gonna go in. That Christmas game, nobody thought that was gonna be good. I was excited.
And that's what I'm saying. Their games always come down to the wire. It's always some ticky-tack calls being done. It's always gritty. It's always
Troy Polamalu fumble recovery, Torrey Smith bomb.
If you want to even take it back, even when Brian Hoyer was with the Browns and he upset the Bengals at their house and he just showed them out. It's like those are always entertaining games because you never know what to expect. Or everyone's talking about the Cowboys and the Eagles and their division, all that. I like how you said it. I like their the division because
now those games are you don't see a lot of defense. If you like offense, NFC East is all for you. If you like defense and they actually got a game plan for these games. AFC North all day. I'll watch all their games, man.
Yeah, and I don't know what the Bengals are going to do. The Browns are heading towards, they seem like they're in going in the right direction, but it's going to be between the Ravens and the Steelers. But with the Steelers, it's going to be hard to beat them. You got Big Ben coming back. You got Martavis Bryant coming back. You got Broken Fingers coming back. Then you got Le'Veon Bell, and you still got Antonio Brown, Mr. Boomin that just got paid. So their offense. I'm really gonna be looking for the Steelers and see what they're gonna do. If they're gonna capitalize, try to make it to the Super Bowl, win one for Big Ben, so Big Ben can go ahead and retire because you see he's tired. If a man
ready to go,
if a man takes too long and he's contemplating retirement or staying, know that he's really thinking about hanging it up. And they have the right. This is the time right now that you have the offense tailor-made for Big Ben to go far. That defense has to step up, but I think that they have the right tools and the right weapons to go far. So I'm really going to be looking out for the Steelers also. That's going to be another team I'll be checking out.
Man, I can't wait till the NFL starts.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's good. Let's talk about some basketball.
Oh, yeah, man, let's get into the basketball. Let's get into these playoffs, man. As of right now, the only series that is over with is the Cleveland and Indiana series. Oh, my goodness.
I sit up here a week ago and lied to people and told people, man, if the Pacers challenge the Cavs in game one.
No,
Guess
no, no,
what?
no, no. Actually, Marcus, I gave you the opportunity. I said, Marcus, is this gonna be the upset? And you said no. So to save your ass, you didn't. You weren't necessarily going for the Pacers to save your ass, but you did kind of say that they could compete, and they did compete.
They competed every game. They
competed every game.
They said they had a lead in the fourth quarter of three of their 4 games. Of every game. Hold on, not 3 or 4. It's every game except this one. Well, except this one.
Well, they got it close. They got it real close, but they was already defeated. You know, like
they look defeated. They
was defeated after game 1.
I mean, that's what really let the air out. And Paul George didn't make it easier. Like his teammates are more mature. They know how to step up and play their role. But you could tell they were hurt by him, really criticizing them.
Now, do you look at him any different? Because this is a superstar that went out his way 3 consecutive games, Marcus, to criticize his teammates.
Paul George just don't want to be there. Honestly, Paul George just don't want to be there. That looks like a man that's ready, who's 2 feet out from leaving the door. Same with what's his name? Kevin Durant. You remember when Kevin Durant had that? It seemed like Kevin Durant was outside of himself last year. He was mouthing off to the medium. He was more vocal with his teammates and stuff like that. You was like, man, what's going on with Kevin Durant? And then you saw he left. He was like, oh, well, the signs were there. Same with Paul George. The signs are all there. He's not. I don't know what's going on with that. Is it the Pacer organization? Is it coaching staff? Is he mad that Frank Vogel left? Is he mad that he feels like he been on a trading block too much? Or I don't know what's going on. But you can see that organization is shook. And let's be honest. While me and you are saying this, there's another glowing era in this game. If you want to look at this matchup, the Cleveland defense is trash. If you let a struggling Pacers team stay in every game, there should have been a blowout every game on this Pacers, because from top to bottom, from Paul George not playing good, except game 1, he played really good. But if you want to look at the stats, he didn't shoot that well. If you want to look at the other players of the Pacers, didn't really step up. If you want to look at even deeper, they didn't make the right calls or the right play calling in crucial moments. That's why they lost these games. But if you look at it, the Cavs let these boys in the game and left them in the game every game. That's a problem going forward. That's going to be a problem if they face the Bucks or the Raptors. Even though the Raptors are playing the greatest basketball, it's going to be a problem if they face them. It's going to be a problem if they face the Wizards, because I've seen no one stopping the Wizards, and it's going to be a problem in getting to the finals. Not saying that the Warriors have the best defense, or the Spurs are really not showing to have the best defense. The Rockets are even not playing more defense than I expected. But I'm telling you,
we'll say that for later.
We'll say that for later. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm telling you that the Cavs look like they are not going to win it all. And if they do, you have to give LeBron James more credit. And here goes another one step closer to Michael Jordan, if you want to give him that accolade.
Oh man, that's
okay. So you think, okay, DeMarcus, if he wins this year, that means he's beating one of the superior West teams, and then he's beating these better Eastern Conference team, and he's winning with a team with terrible defense. Cleveland's defense is horrible.
But this how I look at it, because it's 2 different generations of basketball we talking about. In this millennials basketball, LeBron has more of an old school game, and he can dominate. I mean, look at some of the plays he's been making the last few games. I mean, from the comeback win, game 3 to today, Indiana was up. They was up. I remember this because LeBron hit a clutch 3.
Yeah, he did hit that clutch 3.
Indiana went up by 1, so they had a lead in every game, like you said. But LeBron hit a clutch 3. So it's like, damn, this man really is stepping it up during the playoffs. And they went 4-7 down the stretch. Most people ripped them off. I'm not a big LeBron James fan, but I honestly feel like something about the playoffs just cuts him on and he becomes a different person.
Yeah.
And we kind of seen that this series. Like, this is – I know they won 21 straight first-round matchups, but LeBron was an entirely different person from even what we seen last year. He kind of showed this the last 3 games of the finals last year. So he's just continuing to add to his playoff resume. But I know you want to compare him to Jordan, and that's fine. I got no problem with it at all. But he's logged in a lot of minutes. I mean, how many series have we seen between the finals and the Eastern Conference Finals alone that have went like 6 or 7 games? How many times look, Kobe and Shaq had a postseason where they went 15-1. That means they just dominated, no extra games or anything. Michael Jordan had his fair share of sweeps in like the beginning rounds of the East. So LeBron, he's logging in a lot more minutes, so he has a lot more opportunity to add to his playoff stats. I don't think that's fair.
That's true. And you know what? That's my notch. I'm not going to ever say that he's ever going to be Michael Jordan level, or he's always going to be the second greatest. Yeah, because
the efficiency of Michael Jordan is second to none.
It is. But you know what? There was something I was listening to the other day. I was watching one of those round discussions or whatever they do with the coaches. You know that NBA TV does, round table. And they were talking about playoff basketball and stuff that nature. And Shaq said something that was so profound. I can't believe this. It was Shaq saying something like this. He said that there was always better teams, but the thing about teams like, you know, the Lakers or, you know, the Bulls, or you can even say the Rockets, it's coaching. And that's when coaching shines at its greatest moments, because in playoff basketball, he says you can always have a team that's better than you, but if you execute the right plays at the right moments, that's how you win. And that's, if you ever look at like the Spurs or when the Lakers win, they never let the moment overtake them. So just say that, okay, let's say that the Lakers are playing, they were playing the Sacramento team back in the day. Sacramento was always had that pace. You know, they had that pace. So it can look like it would throw you off or make you mad. Like they would hit a crucial three or hit a nice layup that looked like they got momentum. But then you see LA play and they just run. They just respond so easily. They don't let the moment overtake them where you get nervous. Like if you watch the Rockets game today or the Rockets and the Thunder game, you saw the nerves of James driving to the hole or you fouling Nene, but you didn't see that with the good coach teams because they didn't make mistakes like that. And if they did make mistakes like that, best believe the coach was chewing them out because you don't want to outplay the system. And that's the thing that I liked about LeBron, because he's never had good coaches. I don't care what you say. Spoelstra may have had a great year now, but Spoelstra is not a Phil Jackson or something like that. Then he had Mike Brown, or you want to talk about him with Tyronn Lue or David Blatt. He's never had great coaching, but LeBron has always been, he's able to be the pseudo coach and execute plays at the right time, at the right moments. That's why I give LeBron credit, because even in looking in right now, like how it's like he turns it on at the right time, you can always count on LeBron. And he showed you night in and night out why he's the greatest basketball player. He takes it to the hole more. He wasn't doing this during the season, taking it to the paint. He was taking it to the paint on the Pacers. I was like, yo, LeBron was living in the paint. He'll drive it in and he'll either dish it out. And you just see right here, LeBron knows how to execute the right plays. That's why I like LeBron when he's not bitching and complaining or doing the most, because he's the best player to execute shit. And I love it. And I wish sometimes his teammates would feed off that more. But he really is a great player. If you watch him and you take the hate away from what you have LeBron, because I hate LeBron as much as any other person, but I tell you right now, this dude is amazing.
You respect him.
You respect his game because he it's something fascinating to watch, that he can just dominate the game so easily, that he can pull up. He's not out there shooting jumpers or threes like that. Guess what LeBron's doing? He's getting to where he's going to get his money, and that's getting to the lane and creating open space for everybody else on his team, but also taking it to the hole so he can get his points. Or when he times call on a big shot, LeBron's right there to make it. So you can't knock the man and you can't knock his greatness. No, he's not the MVP, but is he the greatest player that I've seen? Yes. I didn't watch Michael Jordan back in the day. I didn't watch Bill Russell. I didn't watch Jerry West. I didn't watch none of those people. I watched LeBron James from 2000 on up. And LeBron James, with my eyes, is the greatest thing that I've seen. Now, that's no knock to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is still the GOAT. But it's like this. I'm gonna equate like this, DeMarcus, before you go. Jay-Z is or Jay-Z or Biggie. In a lot of people's mind, it's like those are two of the rap goats, okay? Mm-hmm. But then we have, in this generation, we have Kendrick, where everybody wants to say is the GOAT. LeBron reminds me of Kendrick, and I say that comparison because I didn't get to watch. I didn't grow up listening to Jay-Z. I got on the Jay-Z late, and I was like, you know what? I started to understand his greatness.
Started to respect
but when I saw LeBron James from 2003, when he came in the league till now, he's been great. Like LeBron has been like, damn. I was like, damn, who's better than this man? And that's how Kendrick is. When he first came into the game in 2009, I said, damn, this dude has never ceases to amaze me. But, I still give reverence to, to Jay-Z, same with Michael Jordan. But with my eyes, these are the two, I'm talking about. That's what I like to say about LeBron.
No,
that's the only props LeBron would get on the show.
No, we're going to leave it at that because, hey, I feel like you're probably his biggest critic. But at the same time, whenever he does well, you have no problem showing him his respect. So,
and the Pacers got them ready. Pacers got them boys ready for whoever's coming next.
Let's talk about who they got coming next, man. The series is tied at 2-2. Raptors and Bucks, man. Who you think gonna pull this one out? You still feeling comfortable with the Raptors?
I don't know. Nope, I don't, man. Lowry is a glaring weakness in that whole team. Like, he's scared to shoot. He's scared to go to the lane. Like, DeRozan is doing it all. And like me and you said, it's gonna have to be more than just DeRozan. Personally, I want to see the Bucks go because the reason I want to see the Bucks go because they would challenge the Cavs on the defensive end because they're longer than most of their players. So I wouldn't want to see what Greek the Freak could do to the Cavs. And I feel like the Bucks need that playoff experience to face the Cavs because I feel like the Bucks are the threat to LeBron in the future. It's them and the Wizards. I feel like the Bucks have they have the greatest constructed team to take them far because they're taller than everybody. They play consistent defense, and they have 3 stars because they have Chris Middleton, who's the unsung hero for that team right now. Like, besides Greek the Freak, you can rely on Chris Middleton. Then you have Giannis, and then you also have Jabari Parker that y'all cannot forget. So they have a big 3, and I feel like they have the right pieces in play to make a nice run. And I want to get your take on this right quick. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and we say Chris Paul is going to be gone from the Clippers. We know that. He's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. How amazing would it be? I know this may not happen. If Chris Paul were to play with the Bucks, I feel like
why wouldn't it happen? Honestly, that'll probably be Jason Kidd has a lot of pull in the NBA, and I don't understand why people don't feel like he does. And honestly, and I know it's not a big signing. But if you can convince a veteran like Jason Terry, who's a championship chaser, to come to the Milwaukee Bucks, you can get almost anybody you want to come.
That means that Jay Kidd smells the championship coming if he got Terry on his team.
Because that's veteran leadership. And like I say, it's baby steps you got to take in the NBA. Like I kind of agree with your reason why they need to get to the second round because you want to get that playoff experience. You don't want to face LeBron time for the first time fully loaded.
Yeah, that's true.
You want to face him at your weakest. So you face him without Parker, and every time they revert back to the game tape, they're going to have that missing element from your offense. And if you can even be competitive for a little bit, you can build on that with a coach like Jason Kidd. Greek Freak is only getting better. Thon Maker is only getting better. Chris Middleton is becoming as consistent of a sharpshooter in this league. So I think the sky's the limit for the Bucks, man. I think they will serve more purpose by going to the second round and losing than the Raptors going to the second round and losing.
Yeah, because the Raptors look out of it. The Raptors look discombobulated. I don't know if they I think they need a coaching change. Like, I like Dwayne Casey. Let's be honest. Dwayne Casey's a good coach.
I don't like him.
Oh, okay. Well, one of us likes him.
I kind of feel like he's kind of like Avery Johnson. Like, everybody thought Avery Johnson was cool, but he also had Dirk.
Yeah,
Josh Howard.
So he had a team that make him look
Daniels. Better. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
And when you talk about 1 through 10, how many people in the league can say they coaching a group of 1 through 10 players like Dwayne Casey? And look what he's doing. They lost. They was down at 1 point 41-15. I couldn't believe my fucking eyes when I seen that.
Man, I was low key mad when I looked up and I saw that they only had 43 points going into the fourth quarter. I was like, what the hell is going on?
But I wanted 8 points, all free throws. Like, bro, you cannot be a superstar and put up shit.
If you want to be honest, the Toronto Raptors have let's be honest. Let's be truthfully honest. They have the talent to be the 3rd or 4th best team in the league. Because if you look at Lowry, DeRozan, you have Valanciunas, who is not utilized enough as a big man. You have Ibaka. Then you have what's his name? That they just got, PJ Tucker. I'm telling you, they have Corey
Joseph.
They have a great squad, but I risk Scott. If you want to be honest, Scott Brooks Frank Vogel should have coached the Raptors. instead of the Magics. And
I don't know why
think
the hell he went to the Magic.
I think that he should have went to the Raptors because if they could have got that Frank Vogel with his decent defensive mindset coaching that team, I think that could have been something serious. But I don't in this series, I really don't care anymore. It's like whoever goes forward, they're not going to do anything because the Raptors are not playing to the type of basketball in my mind I feel like they should. And with the Bucks, they have overachieved already. They made the playoffs without Jabari Parker, something I didn't think they were going to do. Then if they can get it past the first round, that's good. They can literally get swept and look back at this season like, damn, we had a great season. We can build from this.
Without our second best scorer.
Exactly, your second best player. And on top of that, they're going to have to address that point guard position because that's what they really need. They need a better point guard. And I think Chris Paul if Chris Paul leaves the Clippers, he should go to –
perfect fit, man.
He should go to there. He should go to the Timberwolves, or he should just go to the Spurs. Those are the only three teams I can see him playing for. Nobody else really needs a point guard besides those three teams, and the point guard position would elevate those two low-key teams to being a major threat. And then with the Spurs, you would have literally the greatest formation of players because you'll have a three threat. You have LaMarcus, Chris Paul, then you have a Leonard.
Shit, I thought you were talking about the point guard shit. Parker, Paul, and Mills. Shit, that's dangerous right there.
Yeah, the only reason why I say bring Chris Paul into the Spurs is because I can see Tony Parker. He's giving it his effort, but what Popovich is doing is he's only playing Tony Parker in spurts minutes. I don't think he's only averaging like 22 minutes, and he's getting the most out of Tony Parker in the minutes that he brings him in. But Tony Parker this whole season played terrible. Tony Parker is tired. Tony Parker looks like he's on his last leg, like Tim Duncan is. Yeah. Like he'll be like Grandpa Tony Parker next year. Because this how it was. Wasn't Tim Duncan balling? And then the next year it was just like, damn, Tim Duncan looks tired.
Yeah, he got old fast.
That's how it is. It's Tony Parker is going to get old. It's like Tony Parker looks good this year, and then I'm telling you, next year he's going to slip off. So I think those are three teams I can see Chris Paul going to. But what you think about the series?
Which series, man? Which series you talking about?
Oh, this about the Bucks and the Raptors series.
Because I was about to start on the Clippers, but I don't think we was on the Clippers yet.
No,
Bucks and Raptors. Like I say, as far as that series goes, man, I want to see the Bucks take it. I think it'll do a lot for the confidence, not only for the players on the Bucks, for Jason Kidd as a coach, and the fact that he can even lead a team that's missing a superstar like that past the first round. I think that could attract a couple free agents to just come to the Bucks and just change everything around. Because, like I said, the East is changing slowly but surely, and I think the Bucks is going to be one of those teams that can make that next step and actually compete with LeBron. But I'm actually more disappointed with the Chicago Bulls right now. Because, honestly, it's Rondo, but at some point, you kind of knew Rondo was going to fail him, even though you try to leave that hope out the way that he's kind of past that with his injury. But it's a different team, and Boston just tied the series up, and I think everything is leaning back toward Boston just that quick after 2 games.
Don't be disappointed in Rondo. You got to give that boy Rondo some credit because what Fred Hoiberg did is something that I thought was incredible.
He cost him the series, though. I understand you can't do anything with injuries. Injuries happen. Trust me, in Houston we know, but God damn, it's a completely different team.
He sat back and he let Rondo orchestrate his whole offense because you saw that game 2. Game 1 and 2, Rondo really was orchestrating that whole offense. He was playing the type of basketball he played with the Celtics when Doc Rivers kind of sat back and was like, Rondo, you want to run the show? I'll let you run the show. And then when they lost Rondo, they kind of fell to the wayside. Jimmy Butler kind of fell out the offense in game 3. Dwayne Wade was doing good, but you saw that, the age thing is going to catch Dwayne Wade. So I'm not too much disappointed in them. I'm more disappointed in Boston, that Boston let the 8 seed Bulls come and school them niggas twice. Yeah, I know Isaiah Thomas had the death in his family. And yes, I know that affects that affects your organization. You get kind of somber, things like that. But you as a basketball player, you're paid millions and millions of dollars. Now, I'm not talking about Isaiah Thomas. I'm talking about these other players, the others. They should have came in with the motivation that we're going to win this for Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas balled out in game 1. He slipped in game 2, but that whole team wasn't even cracking. Even Al Horford wasn't even balling. Al Horford was like a shell of himself, and then he showed up in game 3. But I'm more disappointed in the Celtics than I am for the Bulls, because I didn't really expect nothing for the Bulls. So if the Bulls lose the next 4 games, I'm kind of like, oh well, I kind of saw that happen. I saw the Bulls challenging them boys. I ain't see them beating them.
But that's the issue, because anybody that just knows the simple rules of basketball knows that the Celtics was the easiest team to stop as far as their superstar is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Just put your best defender on them, heckle him, and just as long as you have a bigger defender on Isaiah Thomas, you're gonna have the advantage. Now, what Chicago lost with Rondo is leadership. Now they don't have that leadership on the court. Wade can give you only so much, but he actually he can't display that leadership, the vocal leadership, with his game anymore. Wade used to be able to talk shit and perform. Now it's like he's one or the other. He may
shit on the bench.
Maybe talking shit, going 0 for 8. Or he may just be quiet and give you like that veteran 17 points that you just didn't expect. But that 17 can only go so far. Jimmy Butler, he's going out his means. You can't expect him to score 33 points every night. But look how many shot attempts it took. 16 shot attempts to get there, and he shot 23 free throws. You can't expect that every night from your star. Especially with D Wade going 5 for 12. So This team is done, man. Like I think the fight is gone. I think Boston got them exactly where they want them. I think Boston is gonna be in the next round, and I think it's gonna be Boston and the Wizards still playing in the next round at this moment.
Yeah, because we can talk about the Wizards and the Hawks, but at the end of the day, we know the Wizards are going to beat the Hawks, because the Wizards mess with themselves psychologically. Or hold on, let me see. If you look at that game 3, who wasn't playing good? The others, everybody else who's supposed to be stepping up didn't play well. So I'm pretty sure they're all going to step it up this game. John Wall, as long as you see John Wall playing consistent,
most impressive player in the playoffs so far.
Yes, he is. But what I tell you about John Wall, I told you he should have been in an MVP conversation, not to say to be a major threat, but he should be in that 5th person talk, because John Wall, Bradley Beal has been playing great basketball.
No, but it's but the thing with Bradley Beal, when he disappears, he disappears.
Oh, he goes ghost. He's like J.R. Smith. When J.R. Smith, you remember when J.R. Smith was going, you'd be like, dang, J.R. Smith is balling. But when he's cold, Jesus, you can't find this. You'd be like, did J.R. Smith play in this game? You like 0 for 8. What happened?
I was like, what is Brad like?
You got to give John Wall some credit, man. John Wall he's probably the second best point guard in the league in my mind. And I say that with no shot at anybody else. I think it's Chris Paul.
That sounds like a real bit Curry.
It's not a real bit Curry. What it is Curry is offensively just great. You can't stop him.
We had this conversation. As far as floor generals, you want Chris Paul and John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall is just he's like a Chris Paul that is more fierce. He's more fierce. And I love to watch John Wall plays, because his mind mentality is, first, let me create shots for everybody else. But then if I see everybody else struggling, forget all of them, I'll score. And then when I'm scoring, I'm still going to look for somebody else to make a play, because I'm going to draw that attention. Like a lot of these point guards nowadays play sporadic. The point guard. There are 2 guards playing point guard, basically. That's what most of these point guards are. Kyrie, Russell Westbrook, all of them. Yeah. But your traditional ones are the Chris Pauls, the Tony Parkers, the Mike Conleys, like we saw last night. We're going to talk about that. And then you got to talk about your boy John Wall. He's been playing great basketball. He's really been leading that whole team, and he's matured to the level that we both used to question John Wall at, because John Wall was very immature a couple of years ago, and it seems like it's like a light bulb clicked in his head this season. I think it's Scott Brooks, honestly, because he's playing. He's playing better.
Confident. I mean, how many times can we say we seen John Wall dribble, size up, and pull a 3 in somebody's fucking face? Like, what the fuck is this? So John Wall was doing this shit. Like, damn, what's this dude doing this shit?
Yeah, man. Yeah, John Wall is nice. He's real nice.
And that's the one thing. Like, all right, athletic ability is completely different. But you probably can even agree with this. As much we I ain't gonna say don't like, but as much as we feel like Harden should be more of an MVP than Russell Westbrook, when Russell gets in rhythm and his confidence going, that mid-range shot is hard to stop.
Yeah, because he pulls up like
in your face.
Stops like with a breaks.
Yeah, and John Wall got this. He got that same package. Like John Wall, he'll rock you to sleep on that mid range. You just pull up, and that's the confidence I want in my player. Like that's why, honestly, the reason I don't like DeMar, because DeMar is like he want to get to a spot, he want to shoot from that spot. He's not really trying to create. He's not comfortable with the 3-point shot. John Wall's trying to create his twos, whether it's going to the paint, whether it's trying to get the jump shot, and he's confident enough to take more threes than DeMar DeRozan, who's the star of the fucking Raptors.
Yeah, man. John, like that pull up by John Wall and Westbrook is lethal because they don't break with the ball. They rip that break. That emergency break, so it's just like just boom, they stop and then they pull up and you can't stop it. You can't defend that because you're already in motion of moving back, so it's hard for you to stop on your break and try to contest that. So it's it's something lethal, and that's the thing I like. Like we're gonna go. Let's talk about the Rockets. I'm gonna talk about the Rockets right now since they fresh in my mind. That's the thing I liked about what Westbrook brings because he brings that energy and that tenacity.
He's tough.
It's unstoppable. Like sometimes I'm watching a game like, this dude just plays with too much energy. He reminds me of a kid that's all hyped up on sugar and he's not calming down. It's like you think Russell Westbrook after like about the fourth quarter, he's like, okay, he looks kind of tired, but he's still not tired. Like he looked like he's hyped up on cocaine half the time. I want to be honest. Like he's really hyped up out there. And hey man, not too many shots at Westbrook, but he really does play the energy.
Bobby Brown on the Rockets, bro.
Hey man, you remember Bobby? Hey, Bobby was giving that energy. You knew when Bobby was on coke because when he was on stage, it'd be like Bobby is giving you 10,000%. Like,
bro, chill, dog. Please.
And then you see Bobby the next day. Bobby probably passed out in the bed, like sleep for the whole day. But man, Russell.
For today's topic, you knew when Bobby Brown was on coke.
But man, you got to get that boy Russell Westbrook some love, man. He's playing some hard basketball. And the thing I want everybody to realize, you have to open your eyes and take a look at the Rockets just a little bit closer. James Harden is not playing good in the last two games. He hasn't been playing the greatest. And not everyone is playing good, consistent basketball. We have like one player step up, and then it'll just be like you have Nene step up. Last game it was Anderson and Lou Will. And the game before that it was Beverly and Harden. Like it's two people that always step up, not the whole team consistently. If the Rockets, because Russell Westbrook, they intimidate as much as the Rockets want to scream that they have confidence. Russell Westbrook still intimidates anybody because you can see the overcommitment to playing on Westbrook because Westbrook could be coming down the lane, and you see Steven Adams Steven Adams running with this dude. Why is it three people on Westbrook knowing he's gonna dish it off to Steven Adams? It's like Russell Westbrook takes you out of your game plan. He takes you out of your mindset.
Everybody's watching him.
Exactly, and that's what I can't wait for to see the Rockets. When they go to the next round and they play the Grizzlies or the Spurs, you're gonna see a good a Rockets team, a complete type of basketball, because I can't see the Spurs or the Grizzlies taking the Rockets out of their game plan like Russell Westbrook does, because we're not going to be too overly focused on one person. Like we're going to try to stop Kawhi Leonard, but we're going to leave Ariza just on Kawhi Leonard. Like we're not going to bring another person to really try to contain him. And I'm telling you, I can't wait just to see the clash of the second round, because second round is going to be even better than the first round on all of these games, all of them.
It's funny, man, because it's so many different elements to this playoff series that could have went different. This could have been one of two ways. This series could have either been a sweep if James Harden didn't slip on the fucking floor that was wet the possession before that OKC clearly didn't want to mop up because it was all side of the court, or this game it could be 3-1 Oklahoma City because they blew a lead in game 2. They won game 3. And game 4 is the most ridiculous shit I ever seen in the last 2 minutes of a basketball game. And honestly, like I told you before we even started, this felt like a loss because Russ hit every shot that he could hit. Every shot. He even gave us 2 points. Shit, that's how hot he was. He gave us 2 points while he was at it. But
it reminds you of the Mavs game.
Yeah, a little bit. It does. It was just wild. It was just wild, man.
Because 2 years ago, when we played the Mavs, it was just like, yo, what's going on right now? It's like we were not playing the best brand of basketball.
Dirk was missing shots.
Everything. Rondo was just outside of himself, and that whole thing of him leaving the team and not coming.
And Chandler Parsons got hurt.
Exactly. So it could have been winner, and the Mavericks were still in all those games. So
that was 6, huh?
Yeah, that went it went 6. No, it went 5.
Five. Yeah, it went 5. But it felt like 2 games we should have lost.
Yeah, and that's how it feels with the Thunder. Like, the Rockets really have not been playing the best basketball. We all see it. And I honestly, I don't want to be just blaming the refs. I don't like it when people blame the refs, but you can see
we're not executing either. Because
that's true.
I don't know how many times in the game I look at the score. All right, we down by 2. Next thing you know, they up by 8. Oklahoma City just went on a 6-0 run with no fucking offensive players. I'm like, how the hell is this happening? And then when you go back and watch the game, is bullshit execution, bullshit shots. I understand we're not getting all the calls, but it's sometimes where Lou need to get the ball earlier. Let Lou create. Lou can score. And I'm just glad that Lou showed up to begin with, because I questioned him going into the playoffs. And Lou, he's been stepping up over these last couple of games. Eric Gordon has been clutch. Pat Bev hit a couple threes. Trevor Ariza finally got going.
Yeah, he finally got something going. I was feeling like that last on Friday. I was like, oh, Ryan Anderson finally hitting some shit.
Yeah, something.
Like I put an APB out for Ryan Anderson and Trevor Ariza, and they both showed up this weekend.
Now, the one thing you said a little earlier that I did kind of question, that I said we was going to touch back on, was the defense, because the interior defense is atrocious. I don't know how many points in the paint Oklahoma City has, but I honestly feel like Gibson and Adams are shooting like 80%. And I think Gibson is around like 75% right now in the series.
Okay, so the reason why I say that we've been playing good defense, because I'm not looking at the inside in the paint, because if you want to look at the OKC team, that's where they flourish at. That's why Russell Westbrook gets so many triple doubles. If you want to be honest, that's all everybody to stop the bull crap. Go back, look at OKC's games. What they do is Russell Westbrook runs into the lane. Yeah, there's 2 defenders that draws in, and he does these dump offs. Or
they wait around for easy dunks. Yeah, exactly.
And that's the type of ball their big men are the kind of the identity of OKC, because that's what they do. It's always been the center or the power forward position. And that's why I knew that we were going to struggle against that. Capella is too small to be handling Adams, Cantor, or Taj Gibson. And then they can give you so much when the refs calling these little bull crap fouls. But I knew we were going to struggle there. But besides that, the type of defense that we're playing on the other players, I've been enjoying, because they hit these
I don't see a lot of aggressive defense. I'm putting it like this: a lot of shots is why they not closing out on Roberson. They hoping McDermott don't hit every time he shoot. Norris Cole and knocked down a couple of them. Oladipo,
it's Westbrook, man. I see. That's the thing. That's why I give Westbrook a check mark in that that area, because he makes everybody else nervous, where everybody else plays outside of themselves, because it seems like everybody's more aware of Westbrook instead of being focused on their man. That's why I'm not worried if we go to play the Spurs or the Grizzlies, because there's not one person that I feel that's going to really just freak the mess out that's really throw us out of our game, because Westbrook has that type of game. Same like LeBron. In LeBron in the early years, it feel like when LeBron played any team, it's like everybody defensive plans went out the window, because you couldn't contain him. That's kind of how Westbrook is right now. I'm not trying to say he as good as LeBron and nothing like that, but I just feel like he throws the Rockets out of their game. And Patrick Beverley can only do so much on Westbrook, because that pick and roll is really killing the Rockets. That's been really where
they can't decide if they want to switch, if they want to try to let the big man play off of, because like I say, once Russ getting that rhythm and he starts sizing them up at that mid range, that's damn near 2 points. You might as well just add it on there before he shoot the shot. But when he do miss it, we got to take advantage, and they luckily been taking.
They get them rebounds. They get those rebounds. But the thing I really want to question, the thing I really want the NBA, I wish they would take a look at, is moving screens, because Golden State and the Thunder, man, they flourish off moving screen. I don't know how many times I've seen Steve Adams set a pick and then keep sliding, and I'm just like, yo, you can't do that. That's not fair. I seen JaVale McGee do it. Draymond Green loves to do that shit. I'm just talking about it's inconsistent, because they call it for something. They call it on some teams, but they don't call it on all teams. And the Thunder, and OKC, I mean not Thunder and OKC, that sounds stupid. The Thunder and the Warriors are the two teams that do it the most. And if you want to be honest, the Cavs do it just as much. Go back and look at Game 4 that they just played against the Pacers. Man, Tristan Thompson is sliding across the floor on screens. Him and Kevin Love, and I don't like that. I don't like that type of basketball because it makes it harder for you to defend that when you can move. Like you can move and really stop me from guarding my player, and that's not cool to me. But it is what it is. They'll be done by Tuesday. I don't really care. On to the next series,
and I definitely hope so. And as far as right now, man, I don't. As far as how the Rockets are playing, I think they playing good team basketball. I think they actually are spreading out the shot attempts pretty evenly. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you look at today, Nene got his 12 shot attempts. Eric Gordon got 13. Lou got 13. Pat got 13. Harden got 16. I think that's about as even as you can get. Look at the point total. Harden had 16 points. Nene had his 28 going perfect. Gordon had 18. Lou Williams had 18. Ariza had 14. I think if you can get 5 players in double digits, the Rockets are in good shape.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And Ryan Anderson right there with his 9. And he hit a clutch 3 at the most important point of the
Him and Bev both. Him and Beverly both hit them clutch 3s. But that 3 to tie the game and that 3 to start taking the lead with Anderson was nice.
And what's so important about this playoff run, no matter how far they go, what you like to see is that they're able to score in bunches. As much as they're able to get down, this team can reel off 10, 12 points easily. Just like Golden State reeled off 12 straight against Portland when they was down by 16, the Rockets have been doing the same thing for the last 3 games, and 2 of those games have ended up with victories. So,
see, that's why I like the Warriors and I like the Rockets just going into the playoffs because those are 2 teams that you can't stop them consistently in scoring because I've seen many times where the Rockets has been down by 16 and I'll go do something and I look up and I'm like, dang, when they get down by 4, like what happened? Bro, same with the Warriors. They was getting whooped by the Blazers by 6.
Was the third whatever game we was down big in the third. I think it was the second home game, game 2. It was the third quarter.
And I looked up.
We was down huge. I would not. I think I wouldn't take the trash out. Just you know how you just do something to get your mind right
out the game. This shit stressing me out.
Take this trash out. Why can't I say what the hell happened?
Same with the Warriors. The other night when they played Portland, the Portland was up by 17. I said, man, this game is over. I literally from turning off the lights in the living room, going into my room, turning on the TV. Shit, when did these niggas get down by 5? What happened?
Klay Thompson can get as hot as anybody in the NBA.
He's a bad man. Ridiculous. He's a bad man.
That's just because it's like anytime. Hey, Klay, I need 9 points. All right, here you go.
All right, got you. Here go your 9. Here goes some change.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you 12 since you asked. You know, so it's just to have a weapon like that. You still got Steph Curry who hit some clutch shots. JaVale McGee, man.
He's resurgence. Him and Nene. Resurgence of the old school.
He's revitalized his career, and this is the perfect fit. Like, a lot of people question JaVale. I think Shaq kind of gave him a bad name because they always ribbing at him. But a center that runs rim to rim, you know, all right, I'm putting it like this. A person that earned a lot of respect from me that a lot of veteran centers don't earn is Robin Lopez. Because even at his age, he's still running hard.
He runs that floor.
He runs the floor. And then you look back at his career, he was effective with the Knicks to some extent. They weren't a playoff team. He's effective. Then look at that Blazers team. Almost everywhere Robin Lopez has went, he's gave them some type of presence in the interior, and that's so important in the NBA. And it's the same thing that JaVale McGee is doing. I mean, this guy was a starter for like 3 or 4 years in the NBA. He wasn't a bum. And he's a skill player that Draymond Green can take advantage of his assets. And that's the perfect complement as a center that Draymond Green can have. A person that can just easily catch those lobs because you had Pachulia and Bogut who couldn't jump for nothing.
I'm going to be honest with you, and this is going to be a mix of 2 series because my last series, I'm going to let y'all know it's going to be the Spurs and Grizzlies, the last series I want to talk about. But the Warriors are going to be let me be honest. If the Clippers don't make it and Utah makes it to the second, listen to me, DeMarcus.
About to piss me off, man, because every time we talk about these damn Clippers.
You're not gonna talk about I'm not talking about the Clippers in a positive. They lost. They lost. They
done. They are
over.
done.
Over
They've been done. And look, I'm not gonna say you was on board with me because I feel like you was kind of understanding where I was coming from earlier. But this team is over. It's over, bro. Like it's no way to save them. Everybody has to go. Chris Paul is gone. Blake gone.
JJ Redick gone.
Doc,
DeAndre.
I hope Doc
you see DeAndre Jordan look like he was regretting not going to the Mavs because if DeAndre Jordan goes to the Mavs are a threat in the 8th seed to the Warriors. I don't care what nobody says. DeAndre Jordan, Dirk Nowitzki, that the Curry brothers going at it. I would enjoy that series much more than Portland playing the Warriors. But the thing
in the NBA, bro, I think it's the small things you got to pay attention to see where the chemistry's at. And the number one thing I pay attention to when the postseason starts is postseason interviews. Who's the first interview they're going to show? You got Curry, you got LeBron James, you got James Harden, you got Russell Westbrook, you got Isaiah Thomas. The Clippers, who y'all going to put out there? DeAndre Jordan. Why is Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and JJ Redick on the brisk of their contract year not talking about their playoff success with the Clippers? Because they halfway out the door, my man. This team is done.
They've been out the door.
If I can't get at least 2 of my best players to just talk about the playoffs, just talk about it. Because I know they ask the players, right? They don't just trot you out there like, hey, who want to talk about it? They mean that they both passed, like, I guess we can have DeAndre talk about it. I bet he like, what the hell?
Man, let's be honest. Let's really talk about this. Don't the Clippers remind you just some fake ass friends? Don't they just remind whole team, every person on the team?
I feel like they hate each other. Bro.
They just look like they just be smiling and they really fucking hate each other. Even when that whole Donald Sterling bullshit was going on, they masked it off like, oh, we're gonna unify. Oh yeah, we're gonna stick together. We know y'all was putting on the fucking front. I don't see Chris Paul getting along with Blake Griffin. I don't see DeAndre Jordan getting along with Blake Griffin. I see Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan's they little riff going on. JJ don't look like he want to be bothered there because he kind of fell out of love with all of them in the offense, in my opinion. Because I feel like
Doc the one that wanted him, bro. I mean, Doc told him, "Hey, come here and be Ray Allen." Like, what the fuck you want him to do?
Hey, and they just phase him out. Like it's like JJ Redick he's the only player I've ever seen be raw as shit in the first quarter, and I don't know where the hell happened.
Nigga, that Rockets, what was it, game 2 when Chris Paul missed? JJ was kicking on it. I said, woo, JJ Redick is here, nigga. That nigga ain't goes for the rest of the series.
I don't understand it. They are going to be gone. JJ needs to go to a team where they need a spot-up shooter like the Rockets. Chris Paul needs to go to one of the teams we talked about, Blake Griffin. Take your talents to the Celtics. I say he needs to take his set to the Celtics, and then Clippers can just fall the fuck off. I don't really care about the Clippers anymore. I'm done with the Clippers. Utah is the new Clippers, in my opinion. They're a team.
Get that spot to the Timberwolves, Clippers.
They should give it to the Timberwolves. It's time for the Timberwolves in the Denver to take off or some shit like that. But I want to talk about the Utah Jazz because Gordon Hayward is the unsung hero of the playoffs. Gordon Hayward has evolving points the other night, and nobody said nothing about this. This dude is the second best player in the playoffs, in my opinion, behind LeBron's. And I don't care what nobody says. He's playing better than John Wall. He's playing better than Harden. He's playing better than Westbrook. But nobody watches the games because guess what Gordon Hayward does? Gordon Hayward brings so much attention and draws so much attention, but they cannot stop him from doing what the hell he wants to do. I literally saw DeAndre Jordan come out to the three-point line and tell Gordon Hayward, I'm going to stop you. Gordon Hayward went left. He went right, went left, and took it to the hole and dunked on niggas. And I just be like, yo, let's talk about the white boy. Give the white man some love. Everybody wants to talk about this equal opportunity with the black people. Let's talk about the unsung white hero.
It's a race issue, man. Because I mean, coming into the playoffs, I'll be the first to admit, we over here talking about players that's on the cusp of being top 10. We talking about Paul George. We talking about Jimmy Butler. We talking about Isaiah John Wall. I don't really remember us mentioning Gordon Hayward being a top 10 player, and he's performing like one right now.
We mentioned him, but I didn't put him in my top 10. I said that he was he was like the second best white player behind Kevin Love. Personally, I've always liked Gordon Hayward. I've liked Gordon Hayward for many years, but I didn't like the Utah team. I've always wished that Gordon Hayward left and went to another team. See, in my mind, I've always wished Gordon Hayward went to the Memphis Grizzlies, and I feel like that's the type of team that he should go to because he would be the key to their team going far. Picture if Gordon Hayward got that contract Chandler Parsons got. You think the Grizzlies wouldn't be going to the finals this year? I feel like they would whoop the shit out the Warriors because they would upset the Warriors with the 3-point shooting you have to worry about and the two big men. Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol are killing it right now. Along with Mike Conley. But I don't want to talk about them right now. Let's talk about the Utah Jazz. They got Rudy Gobert coming back. They're going to make it past the Clippers. I think they're really going to challenge the Warriors. I don't know what you think about this, but I think they can really give them some a headache.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, anytime you have solid defense, you can go a long way. I mean, look at what the Grizzlies have been doing to the Spurs over the past 6 years. Anytime they meet up, it's going to be a drag-out series, and the Grizzlies are going to get their 2 games because they slow the pace down. You know what killed me? Going into overtime, right? They don't even got 100 points. This is one of the best offensive games we've seen out of 2 defensive teams, and neither one of them got 100 points.
You got to give them some credit, man.
If that would have been OKC or the Thunder and a game about to go to overtime, it would have been 122 to 122. It would have been a high-scoring game. So anytime you can play defense, you have an advantage. And the Jazz, they clearly have a defensive advantage. And the one thing I like about Gordon Hayward, and this is why I would pick him over a Jimmy Butler or Paul George, one, shooting efficiency. He can get it done from the 3-point line. He can get it done from mid-range. He can get it done from the free throw line, and he can take it to the hole. And number 2, defense. He's an all-star that plays defense. And how many all-stars plays defense? 6'8". He played like he's 6'8".
Man, he plays so good. His defense is so good. I don't think nobody talks about him enough. In that tier of small forwards, you have to throw him in there as one of those two-way players with your Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. You have to put his name in there because he plays two-way basketball. And the thing I like about him, like how you said,
I'm sold. Top 3 small forwards: LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Gordon Hayward.
I think I can give it to you, man.
I'm sold, man. I'm sold. He's a superstar. He's white, so nobody.
He's a white superstar. Yeah, if you want to be honest, yeah, man. Because if you be honest, or you put him over Klay, I can't put him over Klay.
Klay's a shooting guard.
You want to put him as? That's a big ass shooting guard.
Yeah, Klay can play small forward, but he's a shooting guard on that team.
All right, well, let's go. Okay, all right, so I see the Utah Jazz really being a thorn in their side because they have the down low presence of Boris Diaw, and then you have Gobert coming back, and he's gonna get his feet up and his legs up under him. You have that veteran the president and Joe Johnson. Then you still have Gordon Hayward, who's going to get his cookies, and then you have Rodney Hood. Can't leave Rodney Hood open.
Stroke.
He been stroking all series. He's been real good. And I feel like they have the type of team that can really go forward.
It's something about those left-hand shooters, man. I feel like you got to have at least one left-hand shooter on your team to be successful.
If you got your left-hand shooter, then you got success, man. You got success.
like for real. Like those left-hand, like this shit just looks so pretty.
But let's talk about the series I really want to talk about. I really have passion, and I have to say I'm sorry. I have to say I'm sorry to the Grizzlies. I got to apologize. Because me and you both laughed this series off like the Spurs is going to beat these niggas handily. And the Grizzlies said...
I blame you. You made me not want to talk about it.
I do blame you. Because the Grizzlies weren't playing good. Like, the Grizzlies were really falling off. It was a point in time where the Grizzlies were above the OKC. And they lost Gasol for a couple of games. And they really just start stinking up. Like, they couldn't hit shots. Defense wasn't looking that good. They were struggling against, like, boo-boo teams. And I said, man, the Grizzlies are really going to get swept by the Spurs. And Mike Conley was like, yo, y'all forgot about me. I've been putting up career numbers.
No Tony Allen?
And yeah, no Tony Allen. That was another reason why I thought they were going to get swept because they lost Tony Allen. But the Grizzlies have showed me that you can't sleep on Marc Gasol. Zebo was going to be one of your most consistent basketball players on your team. And Mike Conley has arrived as one of the best point guards in our league. The show he put on last night, shit. That was one. You want to talk about LeBron James having the best performance in this playoffs? No, Mike Conley just had the best performance I've seen in this playoffs this year because he did it passing the ball, he did it rebounding the ball, he did it in creating tempo, he hit clutch shots, he gave them the scoring threat that they needed, and guess what? He did it without complaining, something LeBron James still complains about all the fucking time. Still looking at the Pacers series, he's complaining about calls. Mike Conley can get punched in the face. He'll get up and walk it off like nothing fucking happened. This dude is a class act. The dude is the highest paid player in the NBA and needs to get some type of recognition. I feel like the modern fan, the casual fan, knows nothing about the Grizzlies. And I'm loving that they challenged the Spurs on national TV and put people on notice that, hey, yeah, you're looking for Kawhi Leonard in this game, but how about you look over here at Mike Conley, who is the highest paid player that no one talks about?
And 0 takes in his entire career.
You got to give the man some. Hey, this dude is a class act.
And this is the same play. Every playoff year, he buys 500 tickets just to hand out to the Memphis community, just to give back and impact that house. So it's hard not to root for the Memphis Grizzlies. Like I say, this has always been one of those tough teams. I'm just glad we never had to match up with them as far as the Rockies is concerned, because I think it would have been a tough series. They play us tough all the time, and it seemed like every game against Memphis comes down to a Marc Gasol shot, and they just finally got one to fall after all these years. And I like everything about Memphis, man. The one thing that sticks out to me about Conley's game, and when I'm building the perfect point guard, not only do I want the facilitating, not only do I want the shot creating, but I think one of the most underrated things in basketball in general is the ability to finish with both hands. And not just layups. He's shooting floaters with his right hand and shooting shots with his left. So it's dangerous because he's driving to the left, but all of a sudden he pulling up to the right. It's like, God damn. So his entire body of motion is changed midair because you ready to defend it for the left, and all of a sudden he jumping with the right, no contest. So I think that's what's elevating his game to superstar status is the fact that when he's driving to the lane, you don't know if he's going to dish it off. You don't know if he's going to pull up. You don't know if he's going to shoot the floater or take it all the way in for the layup. And that's a superstar point guard right there.
Yeah, Fizdale has really motivated them boys. And I truly feel like that he turned the tides in this series because as good as Popovich has been, he struggles in the first round. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like some juju curse or some shit like that. But the Spurs really are challenged in the first round. And I feel like the Grizzlies have momentum. Yes, I know the Spurs have home court advantage now. They still have home court advantage, but I feel like the momentum, and it kind of feels like the momentum has swung towards in favor of the Grizzlies. And if they go into San Antonio and they come out hot in the first quarter, I think the Grizzlies have a chance to dethrone the Spurs. I don't think the Spurs are going to go to the next round. I feel like I thought they were going to sweep the Grizzlies, but now I'm just like, shit, I don't think I'm wrong. And I hate admitting I'm wrong, and I think I'm really wrong.
The way Kawhi playing, though, I like Kawhi still playing good. I mean, like
nobody else is playing good. That's the thing about it. Like you have Tony Parker.
Yeah, Tony gave a little bit, but they took some own-headed shots. Like I think that block that Harrison did that turned into an and one. That was nice. But then also Patty Mills took a stupid ass 3 with like a minute and a half left, and Pop was losing. Pop was flipping shit when he seen that. Like,
yeah,
it was just a what? Like what the hell are you? Because they got the rebound, and he just like it's 24 seconds on the shot clock. Everybody knows that it's a minute and a half left in the game. Why not just drain a little bit of time? He gave them so much time to make a comeback by forcing up that 3. If he hits it, different story. The Spurs up 3-1, they're gonna be closing out tomorrow, most likely. But he missed that shot. The game goes to overtime. As great as Kawhi Leonard is, he can't hit the game winner. After all those threes he been hitting, this dude was ridiculous toward down the stretch. I mean, steals, threes, everything you wanted, a superstar. He was you couldn't do anything with him. But the fact that the Grizzlies even pulled it out, they got a lot of resiliency in this. This is not a team that you want to face, especially if they get a shit talker like Tony Allen back against the Rockets. Because Tony Allen, Pat Bev, they're gonna cancel each other out, and they clearly got better bigs than we do. I think it's a better matchup against the Spurs with our youth and being able to stretch them out.
I do too, and it's all going to depend on Tony Allen, because even this year it seemed like the Rockets had the Grizzlies numbers, because we haven't struggled as much as I thought the Rockets would against the Grizzlies, because the last time we played Grizzlies, I think we beat them by double digits. I'm not too sure about that, but I remember that game. But I feel like it's either going to be the Rockets or the Grizzlies that's going to give the Warriors the most stress in the playoffs. Like I just can't wait for one of those teams to make it, because as much as everybody wants to say the Spurs are going to beat the Warriors, I don't believe them. I don't believe the Spurs have the type of team that's going to beat the Warriors all from top to bottom. Yeah, you have coaching, but LaMarcus Aldridge, a shell of himself. Tony Parker, yeah, you had a great first round, but can you keep that up, till the Western Conference Finals? I don't think that. I just feel like Grizzlies have the bigs that can upset the Warriors on as well as point guard play. And for the Rockets, I just feel like we can match tempo with the Warriors. Like the Warriors get up by 15 points. I feel like the Rockets have the type of team that can easily come back from that or something like that. I feel like those are the type of two teams that's going to meet the Warriors. But I've really been enjoying the playoffs so far. I'm enjoying each matchup, especially that Grizzlies and Spurs series. Oh, yeah. Because that's the type of series I didn't think there was going to be a good grind out series, and it's proven to be the best series in my opinion that I've seen the first round.
That's so funny. Now I'm kind of glad you said that, because this reminds me of something I kind of said to myself. You said you didn't figure the series would have been like this, because these last 20 years we've been watching the Tim Duncan led Spurs. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, we seen the LaMarcus Aldridge co-led Spurs. And I honestly don't feel Marc Gasol would have took an inbound pass, faked it to a hot Conley, then drove in on Tim Duncan for a game of playoff.
LaMarcus didn't contest that hoe good enough.
Didn't even contest it, bro.
I said, man, I thought that was, first of all, it was a good shot by Gasol. Like, everybody wants to say that's a lucky shot. No, that's Gasol's game. He doesn't leave off the ground with,
Was it a good shot for Gasol, or was it a good shot because the person that was holding him?
Because the person that was holding him. Because LaMarcus Aldridge gives you no defense. Nothing. No defense. The worst defensive power forward, in my opinion. But he let
him get to his spot. Like the number one thing in basketball, they say the reason people had so many problems with Kobe Bryant,
because he had spots.
He had spots, and once you get to that sweet spot, you can't do shit with him. As an international player, he's been taught touch, so he knows to where he gets to a certain spot, he only got to put this much touch on the ball, and 9 times out of 10 it may go in. LaMarcus Aldridge let him do exactly what the fuck he wanted to do, and that's why he lost that game.
And I like it how you said about Kobe. That's why Kobe Bryant will forever be one of the greatest players that I just one of the greatest players that galvanized, the spot, just the hot spot, because he had 5 hot spots. He had the 2 that was like down low, where he can hit the turnaround base jumper, and then he had the top of the key, like right below the 3-point line. Mm-hmm. And then he had the one at the top, like right above the free throw line. Those was his spots. Like, if Kobe got there, you couldn't stop there. And I saw it firsthand with Battier. Battier literally had his whole hand, both hands in front of Kobe's face, and Kobe was still hit it, because Kobe probably practices that shot probably 1,000 times every fucking day.
Ice.
That nigga knows he's going to make it. Kobe knows that if I can get down here and I can pull up from that spot, we're going to win this game. And I don't think we have a player like that anymore. Like Curry, you can say he has hot spots, but I
don't think he got hot spots. I just think when he get hot, he get hot. Scary. Yeah, it gets scary.
I don't think nobody's a hot. I think nobody has spots like that.
I think when Clay get hot, Clay becomes consistent. Clay can reel off like 9 or 10, but Curry, he just get like 1 or 2, and they're like, fuck, now he's going. Because now you got to defend the 3-point shot, and once you start defending that, everything open up. So I just think he gets a little bit scarier when you get Curry going.
Yeah, but hey, man, as like you said, the playoffs have really been shaking out exactly how I thought they were going to shake out. The only 2 series that really ain't been going the way I've been thinking they're going to go is the Raptors and the Bucks, and the Grizzlies and the Spurs. And I'm happy to say I was wrong on both of those, because if anybody who's been listening to this podcast knows, I've been singing praises for the the Bucks since the first episode. I thought they had a team that literally can make some noise, and then Jabari Parker went out.
You always said once Chris Middleton get back. You said that for about 3 weeks, man.
Yeah.
Like, once Chris Middleton get back, because we kept thinking he's going to return. He kept getting delayed, that this team was going to be dangerous. Then all of a sudden, Middleton comes back, and the same night Parker goes down. It's like, well, shit. Here we go again.
And Chris Middleton wasn't playing good, and then he started getting his shot back, and then now you see how good they're going to be. So I look for them going forward, and then give praises to the Grizzlies, man. Fizdale has this team playing some good basketball right now. Honestly, that's not even say good basketball, some great basketball, because you want to be in those 2 losses that they got. Marc Gasol was killing.
Mm-hmm.
He's been consistent. Now you got Mike Conley coming back, doing his thing. I feel like they may win that series. So I think we're doing pretty good in our calls.
Okay. On a scale of 1 through 5, what do you put the first round in the NBA playoffs at? I'm
going to put it at let's be honest.
So
put that shit to a 5. I'm gonna tell you why I put it to a 5.
It's been good. Outside that,
I didn't see the Cavs sweeping the Pacers, and the Pacers really challenged the Cavs. So I don't care what you people say. I was really entertained by this series. The same thing with the Bucks. I didn't see the Bucks beating Toronto. I didn't see Toronto struggling like Toronto has. I've been really impressed with the Wizards, the way they've been playing as a ball club. I've been really impressed by the Utah Jazz, even in losing Gobert, still being competitive. And you lose a star like that, you can easily fall to the wayside. But Gordon Hayward still has that team playing good. I want to say he has a team playing good, as well as Joe Johnson, because you got that. You made that call. I really want to give you some shout out on that one.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I ain't expect it was gonna come down to a game winner, but I do think veteran presence, which we've seen with the first 2 games of Chicago, means a lot in the NBA playoffs. Just having players that experience that grind of a 2-month season, like that's what it is. It's a 2-month season if you make it to the finals, and that grind is completely different from a 8-month stretch of playing 82 games. So it's a completely different feel to the game. But if you had to put together a playoff lineup 1 through 5, I'm not gonna make you pick the most valuable player, but just 1 through 5, give me that lineup. Best playoff lineup of the first round.
Say that one more time.
Your best playoff lineup of the first round, 1 through 5.
You mean just pick the players?
Yeah.
All right, so you can go East or East and West, or
just everything. What you got? Who is those top 5 players at their position right now?
Mike Conley has been playing the best point guard position, and if you want to be honest, I'm gonna move some people around. I'm gonna say Mike Conley. I'm gonna say John Wall, and then I'm gonna say Klay Thompson. No, I'm not gonna put Klay Thompson in. I'm gonna put Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, and then I'll sprinkle. Who can be my other 5th person? Man,
it's kind of tough, but I kind of want to say
Greek.
I kind of want to say JaVale.
I want to say If you want to say center,
if you want to say center, but yeah, if Greek
give it to Nene. No, I'm giving it to Nene, because if you want to look at the center position, Nene's been killing it. He had 28 this game, 16 the other night. He just had 17 the other night. Like, Nene really been playing some good. The only reason why his numbers are not even higher is because he got in foul trouble. And
he only played 15 minutes in game 3. Like they kind of reserved him for game 4.
I wouldn't. If you want to go center position, I give it to him or JaVale, like you said. But if you want to just go non-traditional, I got to grab Gordon Hayward and throw him in there too.
Yeah, but that's an underappreciated thing what Nene's doing right now, honestly, because when you signed him, you signed him for the playoff run. You didn't really know what to expect, but this Nene, oh man, you couldn't have asked for anything better when you brought him in for $3 million in today's NBA. So I think that's a positive. I like that lineup, man. But we're gonna be kicking back with everybody doing the draft, man. You want to make a decision real quick on if we're gonna be recording during the draft or after the draft? What you think, man?
Man, I have to work that day, so it's gonna have to be after the draft.
Okay,
it's gonna be. I have to work. I'm sorry, Fish and Grits fans, but it's getting serious out here in this working world. But we may have to catch up on the weekend and record one and talk about the draft.
All right, that's even better. I think the draft will be over on Saturday, so we probably can just touch base back on Sunday, just like today. Then run through the draft recap, see what we like, see what give everybody our draft day grades. We'll do a little research during the week. Well, shit, player profiles everywhere, so we'll know as much as we need to know on these players. by next week. So
who you got? Who you got is looking good this playoffs to you and your starting five?
My starting five is definitely going to have to start with John Wall.
Got to give it to him.
Got to give it to him. If I got to put a shooting guard up in there, I'm gonna have to put Clay because Clay is getting just as hot as anybody in the league right now. Small forward, I'm gonna have to show some love to Gordon Hayward.
Yep.
I'm gonna leave LeBron out of this because we already know what kind of mystique he has as far as what he can do for the NBA. But at the 4 position, I'm gonna have to put Zach Randolph because I think he single-handedly got the Grizzlies back into the series. And for the center spot, I'm gonna have to go with JaVale McGee. Just because that energy he's bringing.
You got to give it. You got to give it. But another player that I also want to give some. Let's give a nod to. I'm going to tip my hat off to. It's a dude named DeRozan. Yeah, I know DeRozan had a bad. I know the reason why I want to. I just listen. The only reason why I want to tip my hat. I want to tip my hat off. That team should not be tied 2-2. DeRozan carried that team. He's been carrying that team. Now, he had that one bad game, but I've really been liking what I said from DeRozan. I told you DeRozan was going to have a good playoff series, and I told you the problem with the Raptors is going to be Kyle Lowry, and what has the problem been?
Did you say he was going to score 8 points for no field goals?
Who?
DeRozan.
Well, he had that bad game, man. That was an outlier game. He couldn't hit nothing. There was this one time he drove to the basket to hit a layup, and he just like doinked off the. And I was like,
bro, it's been some wild missed layups. Did you see the one that Robinson missed? Boy,
oh yeah, man, he really missed that.
That shit hit the top, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, I gotta get DeRozan some love, man, because he's really been.
Eric Gordon had blue one. Yeah, it's been some bad layups being missed. Oh my goodness.
I just gotta give DeRozan some love because I said that he was gonna have a good series. Yeah, he had one bad game, but I really like DeRozan's game. Yes, he doesn't have the greatest offensive capability as Gordon Hayward, Paul George, any of those people, but I really like his game, and I like that he can be depended on to step up in times of pressure. But Kyle Lowry, I cannot say the same for. This is the thing that's gonna piss.
We knew about Kyle Lowry though.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this right quick.
DeRozan, but Kyle Lowry, we knew he was gonna fill him.
Let's talk about this one right here. So if you're Toronto, you can offer max money to Kyle Lowry. Would you want to offer max money to Kyle Lowry, or would you want to offer max money to say Chris Paul?
Bro, I already told you. If I'm the Raptors, as soon as this season over, I'm calling the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm like, hey, y'all want this dude? Y'all can have him. I got no use for him. They'll probably be one of the better fits. I think the Timberwolves will be a better fit for Minnesota than Chris Paul going to Minnesota because with Chris Paul there, he's going to want to run the show a little bit more. I think Kyle Lowry's already stepping back to a DeRozan-like player with Andrew Wiggins. They're the same player. Let's be honest. Wiggins just don't have the offensive stroke like DeRozan has, but he's developing, and I think he can be just as good as DeRozan. Then you add in the Karl Anthony Towns. I think Minnesota would be the perfect fit for Kyle Lowry, and I think they would be willing to make some type of trade to just get him off the books. And if you can offer a big contract to a Chris Paul if he does come, there you go. Now you back on top. Man.
Kyle Lowry or Dragic going to the Timberwolves would be nice in my book.
Oh yeah, I think they just need a solid point guard.
Somebody who can hold it down. Somebody who cannot make too many mistakes, but can control the offense enough to not really hold it down because you got Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. You ain't got to worry about scoring, but you got to make sure you protect the ball and control the offense. That you don't make stupid decisions.
You can ship Rubio to the Spurs for something. I know Greg Papa know what to do.
Yeah, he can flip. I bet he can flip Rubio. I bet Rubio looking like Ginobili 2.0 out there.
Rubio be so cold. We'd be so pissed off. But yeah, man. Like I say, hopefully the first round ends pretty well. By next week, we will know not only who got drafted, but also who's going to be in the semifinals. So,
yes, sir.
We will be getting back to everybody. But as for now, this has been Fish and Grits, and you guys have just been served.
Y'all enjoy.